Hey everybody, welcome to the Mzansi Gunner Podcast. We have a regular with us in Ryan, and then we have a new guest tonight or contributor on the podcast. We have Tom. So just if in the comments you guys can't understand his Scottish accent, then we'll have to do a little bit of we'll write stuff in the comments about what he's saying. But in general, I think Alex Ferguson has helped us to get used to Scottish accents and other Scottish managers in the Premier League. So it's going to be fun. Here's Ash. Let's join him to the stage. How's it, Ash?
Evening, gents. Am I audible?
How's it going?
Yes,
good,
you're audible.
How's it, Ash?
How's it, Ux?
There's just a little reflection on your glasses. I don't know if you can change the angle slightly. Just
Man, it was a rush. Let me just take the glasses off.
right. That's better. Now we can see you. It was like there was like a reflection. But
Yeah.
Thanks for stepping in last minute for us. We appreciate it.
How's it? How are you doing, Dayne?
Good.
All right.
Okay, guys, let's get in. There's a lot of things to cover. I'm just going to share screen and go into FODMOB, and then we're going to go through. We're going to look at the first Chelsea semi-final, which feels like ages ago, and a lot has happened since then. But I think it's a nice one to go back to because we just had the second leg recently. So, I think it's all the narratives around before that was that we hadn't lost at Chelsea since 2018. So since Hazard was busy causing havoc and all other things were happening, and then we pulled off the victory as well. So let me just get the stats. And no, this is inviting guests. I need to share screen. Yeah, share screen. So obviously, just to remind everyone, it was a 3-2 away victory, and we'll go through the stats now. But just going through those kind of like concepts of us having not lost to Chelsea in 8 years. Isn't this like something we've been praying for a long time because Chelsea were our bogey team for many years and we struggled to beat them, that now they haven't beaten us at home for 8 years. How amazing is that? Ryan, what's your thoughts on even, going to the next game, we're jumping ahead, but that it's 10 games that Arteta has beaten Chelsea. So it seems like he's really got something over Chelsea, which is awesome because they're our noisy neighbors. So, what's your thoughts on that?
Absolutely. My best friend from the age of 9 is a huge Chelsea fan. And when we were first kind of getting into football in the Premier League, Arsenal were on fire, obviously. It was around the Invincibles era. It's around 2000, 2001. So just prior to that. And we were doing so well. And I had so much banter for him. And then we just went through this period of Hazard and Drogba and Mourinho and just abuse, really. So it was a wonderful feeling to kind of firstly to get into the final. It's the first final in a while, but also to be able to kind of get our revenge there. And it's incredible Arteta's start that he's had. What blew me away, which was strange more than the football and even more than Kai's finish, which was also just poetic, was the weird commentary, which I think we can talk about later. But just the fact that even though we were 3-2 up, leading 1-0, there was still this weird kind of feeling amongst the commentators and the panelists that Chelsea were in a good position and they were doing the right thing. So it was another weird one in that respect. But yes, what a game, what a time. Cup final, ladies and gentlemen.
Awesome. Thanks, Ryan. Yeah, so as you can see here, this was the lineup for the game. We had the usual crew that was playing, and obviously the defenders didn't get such a good rating because of the goals we conceded. But that's the lineup, and then let's go through the actual game stats. So we had White opening the scoring in the 7th. Gyökeres with his goal, and then Garnacho scoring twice, allowing Garnacho to score twice, who's one of the players that I probably dislike, along with Richarlison the most in the Premier League. That was a bit of an annoying moment. and then Zubimendi. So yeah, it was just really great to score 3 goals away at Stamford Bridge. What was your thoughts, Tom, on the game?
Yeah, no, to be fair, you are refreshing my memory quite a bit here because I'm like, oh yeah, White scored. Wow. Oh wow. I'd totally forgotten that. No, I mean, obviously I was happy with the win. Yeah, the whole Chelsea thing after so many years, it pissed me off, good and proper. So the fact that they've been pretty crap for a while when we face them is absolute delight. There's no more threat anymore. There's no, you go to Stamford Bridge, you have to be careful, but overall you're just like, yeah, bring it on. Let's do it. Very happy with the way that we've sort of bridged the gap that was and now looking down. But that first game, the main thing that I can remember from that game was literally, just those Garnacho goals. I just felt they were kind of lucky, not obviously well taken, but I felt like obviously well against the run of play. You kind of like, did we switch off a wee bit? Getting a wee bit too cocky with our situation and how we were playing, because the game was pretty much us, or it felt like it was. We were just pushing them and creating them problems. Looking at the ball possession stats now, though, and I'm like, oh, really? Okay. My memory's warped. But I felt like Garnacho's second goal especially, I was just like, that's a wee stinger. But other than that, I was quite happy with the performance overall, and just felt like, the conceded goals were just... it's an annoyance rather than a worry, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, no, that's true. So, Ash, what did you think of the game? Did it jog your memory now what we went through with the stats? And do you see how we got 2.8 for expected goals? I think this is one of the first games where, or a few games this season where we actually got more goals than our expected goals. Because we tend to underperform our XG. In this game, we overperformed our XG. And Chelsea, well, as usual, teams against us overperform their XG. They normally score more than their XG, which is annoying, and that's a common trend throughout the last 2 seasons. Yeah.
So I think the scoreline flattered Chelsea, 3-2. I think we were very dominant in this game. It was a late night game, so with the Carabao games, you fall asleep towards the end most of the time. But what I do recall was, if it wasn't their coach's first game, their new coach, what's his name?
I think it might have been his game.
It could have been his first game. If my memory serves, but I remember this game. The scoreline flattered Chelsea. It was against the run of play, like Tom mentioned. Not much to say. Very excited that we're going to a final at Wembley. But we can speak about that when we speak about the second leg. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think let's go on to the next game. So let's just go up here and go back. And then we're going to go to the... why did it do that? It jumped all the way back. Okay, sorry about that. So just going to the next game.
Is that United, I think, eh?
Oh, was it the United game? Oh, the one that rattled our fan base.
Yeah.
Yes, Ryan. What's your thoughts on the United game? I actually watched that with friends. Was it the United game? Because the United game was recent. It wasn't the United game.
It was. So if you go back there, this is Brentford. This is obviously coming up.
Yeah, I'm just.
If you go back there, I think it was United, then Kairat, and then Leeds, and then Chelsea second leg.
Yeah, so we had Chelsea first leg.
Yeah. So first
Yeah,
leg was
that's why I'm saying I
40.
think it was actually United next. I think United was further back than we. Was United before or after Leeds?
No, it was before, but we're looking at 8 games tonight, so we've got to get through a lot.
Yeah,
I think the
think
next
it's
game
United.
was a draw against Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, it is.
Let's
I
see.
got it. Yes, the draw against Nottingham Forest. Yes.
Hey, Nottingham Forest.
Yeah.
Yeah, draw against Nottingham Forest. So that was the next game. I'm on it now, finally. So our lineup for that game, I think we rested some players. Yeah, we put Madueke in, we put Martinelli in. And it was a weird one because I think the lineup was annoying for me because Forest were going to play a low block, and then we played Martinelli, Gyökeres, and Madueke, who all are better against like high lines and in the Champions League. So it was just a weird starting lineup for me. Like I think you needed the other players. Like if you're playing a low block, Trossard is going to be better. But I understand that I think the next game they were resting them for the next game. And then with Jesus is also normally better against more low blocks because he drops out. But then there's that other kind of I think it's fine to have Gyökeres, but the two of the wingers I think were just confusing for me. Because Gyökeres does stretch the lines sometimes, which opens up space. But I just felt like all three was a weird one. I don't know what's your thoughts, Ryan.
Yeah, I agree. There was quite an interesting stat that was mentioned in the Sunderland game. The commentator was saying that I believe, and I stand to be corrected, but I think we've had the most goals off the bench of any team in the Premier League this season, which is really interesting because historically we've had issues with rotation and we haven't done a very good job of it. So I think Arteta's trying to rotate the team as much as he can, but I agree. I really like Marino at striker in those kinds of games because he can finish those little odd chances. That was actually the kind of game you want Havertz for his height as well. I think Trossard brings a lot more in terms of creativity than Martinelli. He assists a lot. He puts in crosses. He cuts back. He passes. He dribbles. So I agree. I think actually in that game the lineup is what caused the result. I think it was quite easy for them to go with the low block and to stop us from actually having an impact. What's really good is we're seeing Gyökeres score at the moment, and it's because he's scoring on the counter attack or the odd cross coming in. So I think Arteta's still figuring that out a little bit, and I agree. Weird lineup and not one of the less enjoyable games this season for me. Yeah.
Understatement.
Yeah. Yeah.
If
So
I
what was
recall,
go for it.
if I recall, this was the game where I think I lost it a bit as a fan because there was a draw or so in the Premier League. We were struggling to get 3 points, right? At this stage, and my usual. Well, something I try to avoid is to start attacking our players. And one of our forwards, the new forward, the one that's supposed to be, the game changer for us, which I think he's now currently doing, is improved dramatically in the past few weeks. But at this stage, I found him to be lackluster. His movement wasn't as good as I'd expect from a world-class striker, but one of one of those games it wasn't enjoyable to watch as a fan, and I mean, look at the expected goals here, and we didn't put one in, so it says a lot.
Yeah. Same story of overperforming our XG. I mean, underperforming our XG, and then, it was, it's a frustrating game. What's your thoughts, Tom? What's your thoughts on Gyökeres? And like the thing that I was talking about on the WhatsApp group was that lately he's getting goals because he's coming on in the second half, or he's starting in the Champions League where it's more open. So there's that's what I've kind of picked up with him, is that he struggles against low blocks in the first half. But I feel like when he comes on in the second half and the legs are tired, then he stretches the game nicely and he gets in behind and causes havoc. And he's scored a lot of goals in the Premier League from the bench and not a lot as a starter.
Oh, well, I mean, about the Nottingham game, I was just, it was dead. It was dull. It was, we were lifeless. We were, was it the previous game as well in the league that we'd been a bit cack? And sorry, I'm not allowed. It was all of it is just building up, and so you're just feeling that frustration. I agree with the lineup. I mean, I recognize the Timber left back as, with Hincapi and Kala were both injured or off on the sidelines, I'm pretty sure. So we were being careful with them, and I don't think that worked particularly well. Timber can do a job there, I guess against Nottingham. That's one of those games that you're sitting there going, just do the job. You're not expecting anything amazing, but just do the job there. But that made me feel a little bit uncomfortable at the beginning. But low blocks, when you're facing low blocks, Gyökeres ain't the man. You need you need a good touch to be coming up against low blocks. And I'm very happy that Gyökeres is showing a bit of form now and looking like a threat, but at the same time, you've got to admit the guy's got a really rubbish touch. I'm still sitting there watching him going, okay, feed him nice balls, give him a nice ball, and we've got a chance. But actually asking him to do some finesse or some real technical control there is kind of like, and a low block is. You need that technique and control against a low block. So it's kind of like, there you go. So
it's a good point. I think that is something that has been a concern: the amount of touches he takes and the quality of touches. So when there is more space, there's less pressure on the quality of touch and the kind of how close you hold it. But in a low block, there's no space. That ball will bounce off your feet and, it'll be cleared very quickly. So let's go. And then you're right. It was off the back of the Liverpool game, Tom. It was 2 0-0 draws in a row. So it was just disappointing. That's when our attackers were just looking dry and dreary in various no movement and just, I think like all the stats started to come up about how our attackers hadn't done much in the last while. So that was kind of the worrying bit for us is that. And then we had the next game, which was Champions League, which has always been a nice break, was the Inter game. So that was the 3-1 game. So, I think it just feels like a totally different team when we play in the Champions League compared to the league. So the lineup, let's look at the lineup for that game. So interesting, Jesus started and got 2 goals. And Saka got an assist. So let's look at the actual scorers here. So it actually will be in stats. Who got the assists and stuff? No, it's not here. Anyway, so but it shows on the other one, on the lineup, it shows who got assists and who got goals. So it was Saka got an assist. He was captain for the day, and then we had Jesus getting 2 goals, and then Timber got an assist. Oh, and then Martinelli, yes. Yeah, because he's been scoring in almost every Champions League game.
Yeah, I think he came off the bench and he scored that counter-attack, I think.
That's like every Martinelli goal this season, but I actually don't think it was in this game that he scored a counter-attack goal. Oh, you're right, he did. He got a 79th minute goal, yeah. Oh, no, that's when he came on. That's not when he scored.
Yeah, it's Jesus, 2 goals, and then Gyökeres.
Yes,
okay. Yes. Okay, Gyökeres scored. Yes, it was coming off the bench and scoring. So yeah, it was a good game. I mean, that's like winning at the San Siro is a big thing, and last season I think we lost there 1-0. So it was good to kind of see, and I actually was surprised how open Inter were, because last season they were played like very closed off and very defensively, and they were much more open. Obviously, they got a different coach, so he approached it very differently compared to last season. What's your thoughts, Ryan?
Yeah, I think as soon as teams try and have a go at us, we do really well. And it was an open game, which we excel at. It was a really good game because I think it was good for the confidence for the players. We've beaten Real Madrid, we've beaten Inter at the San Siro, which is huge. What a spectacle! What an experience for the guys! It must have been incredible. But yeah, I agree. It was interesting. I expected Inter to come in and defend really hard, but they gave us all the space in the world, and we dominated. And I think that's what we've done in the Champions League throughout the campaign. I don't know how many goals we've conceded, but I think we scored 22, maybe conceded 2 or something unbelievable like that. But we really are scoring in Europe, and it shows where the Premier League is right now. And it's not just us. A lot of teams are getting 1-0 wins, 2-1 results, 1-1s, 0-0s. It's because of the way the league is at the moment. A lot of throw-ins, a lot of teams trying to get their set pieces right as well. So it's a different league. I think the Premier League might be the most defensive league in Europe right now, or at least defensively strong in Europe. So yeah, what a great campaign. Top of Champions League, Premier League, and Carabao. It's awesome.
Yeah, I think I actually saw a thing where a guy on Twitter had done like a deep dive into the strikers, that a lot of the strikers were actually struggling in the Premier League, and the goals per game is down for the first time not for the first time, but it's at the lowest that it's been for the last 5 seasons, so since COVID. Because it was on a high, like the times when it was really low was in the 90s, between 95 to actually 2005, which was ironic because that was like our period of doing very well. But the Premier League as a whole was very not scoring a lot of goals in that time period. And then now it's like the first time that they're saying basically the defenses are just so organized and so like tactically organized, and defensively the players are just so adept at defending that a lot of teams are struggling. A lot of strikers. I mean, all the new big strikers for the season. Gyökeres is now coming into some goals, but for a while he was really struggling, and a lot of the new signings were struggling. So it's an interesting concept that it's like a league-wide kind of trend. What's your thoughts on that, Tommy?
Yeah, well, I mean, Haaland's been struggling as well in recent weeks. It's I don't know, when you're this whole defensive thing, I sit there and go, is it because owners and managers are getting so scared about losing points? It's like, if you get relegated, it's absolute disaster, and people are just getting so paranoid about getting relegated or losing points, dropping out of Europe, and why is it suddenly become so defensive? Is it purely just about the organization and the fact that is maybe organizing your defense one of the easier jobs on a coach's menu? I don't know but to me, it's annoying, because obviously we've been blessed with so much attacking fast football over the years. I mean, I don't recognize the COVID stats, to be fair, in terms of finding it hard to score goals. I didn't really feel that season was, particularly bad. It was just weird because no one was in the stands, and you couldn't get your head around the fact no one was in the stands, and that made everything feel a bit weird. But when it comes to the way that the Premier League is playing out right now, I mean, obviously, we are capitalizing really quite nicely upon it. And then you sit there and go, did Arteta see this, or has it been Arteta's changes that have been slowly being watched and curated for over time? And where, what's the chicken, what's the egg? Why is everyone now in that situation? I don't know, but
yeah, no, it's very
That's
interesting.
a really good point.
I'm just quickly bringing up breaking news. Szoboszlai apparently scored a screamer against City. So that's good news for us. Yeah, what's
all
your
falling
thoughts?
into place, eh? It's
Yeah.
all falling into place. Yeah, so I just want to get back to the Inter game. So if I'm not mistaken, at this stage, Inter was one of the informed teams in Europe. I think they were, at that stage, I don't know where they are now in Serie A, but they were probably top of the log as well. So they weren't beaten at home for a while. It's been a while. I mean, this game probably took place in January. So, Arsenal did some great things here, beating them at San Siro. Yeah, I'm just so excited right now. Sorry, guys, I couldn't hold it in when when I saw that news. Uh, 9 points clear. That's all we want. But yeah, no. Arsenal in Europe, very exciting. I don't know if you can recall, Dayne, in the first episode or one of the first or the previous episode I participated in. Uh, I had us winning the league. Unfortunately, I couldn't say Arsenal winning the Champions League as well, but the hope is there. The performance in Europe is great. We're more attacking, like you said. In England, the low block is being utilized everywhere, but in Europe, I feel we unbeatable, and not to be arrogant, but we're really looking good in Europe as well. I
No,
mean,
I
we've beaten Bayern, we've
Yeah,
beaten
we beat
Inter,
Bayern and Atletico
beaten
Madrid 4-0. When Atletico tried to
Mhm.
attack us, I also thought they
Yeah.
would be very compact and like Inter, and then they also
Yeah.
went for it. Or we got an early
Yeah.
goal, and then they tried to attack us, and then we just punished them with 3 more. So we've just been on it in Europe, and I actually predicted it at the beginning of the season. I said we were so good against in the European competition last season, getting to the semi-finals, and we struggled in the league. And I actually thought that trend would continue, but now we're doing well in both. I mean, it's been harder in the league because we've ground out a lot more results in the league, but it's definitely been so much more enjoyable in the Champions League. But it's almost like it's still a moments, and there's still a lot of luck involved in the Champions League. And we saw with PSG last year, we beat them in the league phase, and then they beat us in the semi-finals. So we could catch Bayern on form, or PSG on form again, or even Real Madrid. I mean, it looks like we might even face City in the quarters if we get there, which I'm sure we will. But I'm just saying that it'll just be crazy if we face City in so many competitions in one season.
Yeah. And they're
What's
our
your thoughts?
biggest rival at the moment.
Yeah, they're just everywhere. Renai, welcome, Renai. What's your thoughts on the Champions League? How much more open it is compared to the league, and have you been enjoying Champions League football more than the league football, or are you enjoying both?
I've been enjoying both, but I must say that the Champions League gives us a bit of an advantage, because a lot of teams, when they come through, they are coming to play, as opposed to parking the bus or allowing us to be frustrated by playing low block. So I think it gives us a bit of an advantage, wherein we are able to utilize all our attacking prowesses with regards to being in a position wherein we are able to take advantage of the space that we are allowed. I mean, if you can check, Martinelli has been thriving in the in the Champions League because of the amount of space that he's allowed to run, and the amount of goals we've been scoring in the Champions League also. It's evident on the amount of space that we are we are given to be able to be an attacking threat. With the league also, we are doing quite well. Bueno, Okay, I'll share my further thought afterwards. Sorry about that.
No worries. Let's go to the United game, which was the meltdown central moment. And I just want to share a bit of a story. I watched this game with Jordan and Siasango, 2 Arsenal fans, and then with 6 other Man United fans. So I was very confident, even when, we got the goal, which I thought was a Timber goal, but here on FOTMob it says Martinez on goal. Anyway, it was a Timber goal, then the Wemo goal, and then the Dorgu screamer. I was still confident that we'd bring it back and, get a draw. But, yeah, it was just a very frustrating game because we were totally outplayed by Man United. And, it's actually the second time this season because they also outplayed us in the first game of the season, and even though we won 1-0. So it's annoying, having the loud Man United fans in my comments and sending me they were all sending me stuff before the game, but then when they actually beat us after beating City, then we're in a title race type stuff comes up, and I'm like, what are you on about? So Ryan, have you got some annoying Man United fans that in your inbox?
I went to all over the place, but I met up with Charles for that game, and it was us. There were, I think, 6 Arsenal fans and about 10 or 12 United fans, and I was doing dry jam, so I was sober with United fans screaming, drunk, going mental. So it was a good time. It was a good time. What was crazy about that game, which was frustrating, is you're right. They dominated us on the counter, but I think they had 3 shots on target and 3 goals. 2 of the goals came from outside the box, and 1 we caused ourselves because of a Saliba error. So it was a really frustrating game. Head off to them. They were very good goals, very well taken goals. They looked confident. They've improved their press, and it's good to see Bruno Fernandes working so hard at that press as well. So they did a really good job of keeping us in our defense. We couldn't get out of our defense at a stage, which was really frustrating to watch. But I think we had 56% possession. I think we had more shots on target. We took more shots in the game altogether. So I don't know if it was an entirely fair result. I do think they looked like the team that deserved the win in the end, just based on the way they scored those goals. It's going to sound terrible, but it's kind of good for the league to have United competing a bit. It gives an interesting challenge, and hopefully they can beat the teams that we need them to beat for the rest of the season. I don't think it'll last. I don't see United continuing into the top 4 at the end of the season. I think they're going to have to drop points eventually. They beat Fulham by 1 goal in a 3-2 win, so I don't see them going all the way and getting a Champions League place or anything like that. But yeah, head off to them. They got the win. Disappointing, but we kind of needed it. Maybe it lit a fire.
That's a good point. Just going back to the lineup. Sorry, I know I'm kind of hopping on this a bit, but it was for me just a weird game for Jesus to start, and then because I know that United normally come at us, I was actually wanting Gyökeres to start because I thought there'd been more space for him, and then Jesus didn't have the best of games. And then, what's your guys' thoughts on Odegaard, who's now been getting hooked a lot at 60 minutes? He got hooked at 58 minutes here. What's your thoughts on his performances in the last 18 months? And are you guys worried, or you think they would? Because discussion we've been having on the WhatsApp group is that he's not performing, in the last 18 months is one of the top 5 performers in the team, and normally your captain is one of the top 5 performers in the team. So what's your thoughts on just from a pure performance, not being a guaranteed starter, that there might be a change in him being captain? Other people are at the place they want him, benched. I don't know if I'm there because I don't think Eze has really stepped up two threats in his place, and now Havertz is actually playing much better in the 10, but he's also like just come off a long-term injury, and I don't see him playing consistently there. So what's your guys' thoughts on the Odegaard kind of conundrum for our team, and where are we going? Tommy, what's your thoughts on Odegaard?
Yeah, he's a concern. I think it's tricky. I don't put too much stock in the captain chat, to be fair. It matters, yes, but if he's been a captain before, and we've been doing well with him, then yeah, I don't put too much stock in it. Yes, Rice or Gabby can be better captains in theory, but whatever. Odegaard's form in general is a big concern. We've seen literally flashes of the old Odegaard, and nothing consistent for a long time. And for me, I would sit there and I would genuinely be open to the idea if we got a good offer, I would be like, fair enough. The thing is, when Eze's not playing well as well, guys coming in, obviously now we can begin dovetailing with Gyökeres, and maybe they can both benefit from that. I find it very strange that Odegaard's suffering, Eze's suffering, and then Kai Havertz arrives back from injury, and it's like, see you guys, this is my position now. Obviously not playing. He's not playing the same position, but or the same role. But it's basically, yeah. Now you guys are benched behind me, and I've got the bit between my teeth. What to do with Odegaard? Frankly, I'm fine with hooking him off because his form has been poor, and when he's not delivering, you've got to hook him off. At the same time, it's like, well, you give him to the end of the season at least, and see whether he can pull up his socks and get back onto some sort of form, and maybe using him briefly as a sub on, or giving him 60 minutes in a game, or not quite 60 minutes in a game, is exactly the way forward, because it gives him a heads up as well. It gives him a warning about, you might be captain, but you ain't untouchable.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, it's almost links to kind of the Martinelli discussion, that Martinelli kind of started to be, he was such a form starter, then he became like a iffy starter, and now he's like totally switched to being this amazing super sub. And when it was in the beginning, when Trossard came, everyone was like, Trossard is a super sub, but then something shifted in the 23-24 season where Trossard actually started a lot more of the games and scored more. And then in 24-25, they both were kind of a bit average, and now Trossard has had a good season, but has also kind of lost a bit of form now. So it's a tricky one, because for me, it's once again a tactical thing. I just see the 22-23 season when we were flying and Odegaard was flying, we had a much more open. We played more transitional, and there was not as much possession football and stunted low blocks. 23-24, the low blocks started to come, but Odegaard, I think, was so confident from the previous season that he still continued, and he was our player of the season in 2 years in a row. But I think with the amount of people that shifted to doing low blocks against us in 24-25 and then this year, he just hasn't recovered, and I find him once again playing better in the Champions League and better in where there's more space, and there's also physically, I don't see that strength from him. I don't want to derail, but that's kind of the thoughts that I have about Odegaard. What's your thoughts, Ash?
Well, you guys have said most of it, but where I just want to remind our fan base is we must support our players. You get your moments, you have your moments. Odegaard has been a good servant for this club. I think he's an excellent captain. The captaincy discussions that you see on social media, on the different podcasts. It's a time and place, and I think we can have those discussions once we've won the league. He'll be the captain that has led us to our first title. I'm feeling more confident saying that these days. And yes, you remember I always say remain humble, but these days I'm feeling maybe it's too soon, but I feel ungovernable, and he's the captain that has brought us this far. Yes, he slows down our game. If you watch him, for me, he's one of those when we need it to flow, he's not assisting us with that, movement of the ball, and that is his ultimate duty as in his position that he plays. But I think it's a time and place for everything. We need to support him because he'll have his moment. He might be the first captain to take us to our Champions League as well, and he will come good. Just like Gyökeres, like I said earlier, I bashed the man too early. I think he's coming good. And our captain, we've seen his ability. We know what potential he has, and we just need to give him some time. Maybe some time, meaning he comes off the bench, and he's facing a more a team that's now already ran through 70 minutes of a game, and he comes in and gives us that energy. But a player you guys mentioned earlier was Eze, and it feels like he's since the Tottenham where he scored that hat-trick, he's just been not as exciting to watch as well in that same position. So maybe we need to ask the question: is it a coaching issue? Is it, what does does Arteta want? He wants more control in the games, and that's why they're more reserved in their decision making. I don't know, but yeah.
Penalty to City.
No.
Rubbish.
Yeah.
But how is that a penalty?
I don't know. I didn't
What
see
is
it.
that? 94th minute.
Give
This
us
is the
give us
94th minute.
Break
Oh,
us
my
down.
word.
94th minute penalty. Who paid the ref? Who paid
Yeah. Oh, man.
Sheesh.
Okay, let's go into the next game. Renai, do you have any thoughts about the Man United game before we? Or do you want to watch the penalty?
Rod is taking it. It's
Yeah,
not
let's
going
see a
in.
reaction from Renai. Let's see.
Watch Renai watching the penalty.
All right, let's see.
It's in. It's in. Damn it. Back to 6 points.
But yeah, well, but I guess we just need to continue winning our games. We've seen that before, that whenever we rely on other people to handle our business, it doesn't always work out well. So I think it's just a matter of making sure that we get our points, and then whatever happens with the other teams, it's none of our business.
Yeah, true. Absolutely, man.
Yeah, no, I think this league, it's gonna go down to the last few games. I know I have a feeling that we are gonna do it, but it's not gonna be. They want a story, like they don't want us to like win it easily or win it with a few games to go. They want it to be, they want it to be like a narrative and have like exciting moments throughout. That's just my feeling, but. Yeah, sorry guys. That's disappointing news to have on the pod. Let's go. So then we responded after the United game with the Kairat game, which was a nice break. Also, once again and we had, I think, was this when Havertz came back, the Kairat game? Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Havertz came
Yeah,
back.
him and Gyökeres scored, I think.
Gyökeres, Havertz, Martinelli scored. So Martinelli scored again in the Champions League. And then they got the penalty after Gyökeres scored, they got the penalty, and then they got the last minute goal. So just look at the lineup. Eze played with Havertz, which was nice. And Eze actually got a good rating in that game, but obviously it was, against not the best quality opposition. I mean, I'm just glad we didn't have to travel all the way to Kazakhstan for this game. We actually had a good traveling schedule for this Champions League, because I think it was only to Italy that we traveled. Then we traveled to Spain for Athletic Club. We basically traveled close to England for most of the games, which was good. And then was Olympiacos away?
Olympiacos, yeah.
So that was probably our furthest. Yeah, so that was quite nice. So, and then let's look at the stats. We had 66% ball possession, 3.94 expected goals, 25 shots. They had 4 shots. The fact that these teams that have 1.1 expected goals and like 4 shots still score 2 goals against us is annoying as AF. I mean, look at our shot map and look at their shot map.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Ryan, what's your thoughts?
That penalty was actually a Calafiori error. I don't know if you remember, it was a shirt pull. And it was quite soft, but those Champions League refs love to give a penalty for a shirt pull. So I think he too much Premier League for him. So I think it was just a bit of a lapse in concentration. But otherwise, I think we rotated. It was cool because Havertz got a goal and an assist, and I think Gyökeres did as well. So it shows that when the game's open and we can give our strikers some space, they can do things. So I think, again, it points to the Premier League and how tough it is. But yeah, that was a nice game because we stayed on top of the Champions League. What a campaign it's been. It's been fun.
Perfect record. So it was after the Inter game, it was 20 goals, 4 and 2 against. So then it was now 23 goals, 4 and 4 against, which is a crazy good record. 8 wins. Just flying in the Champions League. So, any other thoughts from anyone about the game?
Again, it was just I'd totally forgotten about the penalty, and then you just reminded me, Ryan. I'm like, yes, it was the shirt pull. It's like, yeah, Calafiori at centre back again, like Timber. He can do a job, and I guess Kairat's one of those teams that you're like, yeah, okay, we'll play you there against Kairat because we just need you to do a job. But yeah, I don't like the idea. I don't like the idea of him being a centre back. But yeah, just the fact that it ends up 3-2 and you're like, come on, we destroyed them. We pissed all over them, man. It still ends up 3-2 and you're like, oh, at least we got the win. That's all that mattered. And a nice, clean record for the Champions League. It's like, cool.
Yeah. The other thing that I was thinking about when you're saying that is that Calafiori had a really good start to the season, and the injuries have kind of hindered him. And like since the injuries lately, he hasn't been himself. Like even in the last game against Sunderland, he was off. He just wasn't. So these injuries keep on but the fact that we are doing so well with the amount of injuries that we've had is also crazy. It's just phenomenal, the resiliency in this team. And I think the unity in the team is also really special. I just see the way the team celebrates together, the videos that they do, behind the scenes. Everyone just seems so happy, even the bit part players. I mean, Nani, he left the Club World Cup on the the day before the final so that he could join Arsenal to do preseason with us. It just shows that he was I want to get away from this toxic Chelsea crazy mess and get to a stable club where he knows that Bukayo and Rice and them have told them about this is what the environment is like at Arsenal, and you get to plant a tree every time you score a goal. Or I don't know. There's like this whole story about planting trees, and we got a dog, and I mean the dog is apparently what convinced Havertz to come because he's an animal lover. He's got like donkeys on his farm in like Germany and stuff. So like he's a donkey fan. Who would have thought that like Havertz likes donkeys? So anyway, long story. Yeah, it's really cool to see how unified the team is. Ash, what's your thoughts on? Is someone getting a call? Who's getting a call?
So again, one of those games that I'll be honest, I wasn't too interested in. Watched the game, fell asleep during probably the second half. It was good to see the depth, the rotation taking place. We've already okay. Yeah, no.
When's this game ending? Why are they still scoring goals?
Why are they still scoring?
The ref's been paid off, man. Come on.
Yeah. So one of those games, we had already secured our place in the top 8 of the Champions League, and everyone else, other teams were more focused on these games. As Arsenal fan, I was glad to see the rotation, utilizing the depth, also trying to get other players into form. And I mean, Kai Havertz coming back was really a blessing. It's like a new player. And something not so good to say these days. It's like a new player, but he really is a breath of fresh air. And I think he played the first half. He didn't play a full game, but it was really good to watch. I really enjoyed it. Enjoyed him. I fell asleep in the second half, but yeah, happy to see Arsenal going through with a 100% winning record.
Yeah, and then we had the Leeds game, which was just so amazing. We scored 4 away from home and just totally outplayed them, and we didn't. I think because we scored 2 goals early, we didn't have to deal with the low block too much. And Leeds are a more attacking side, to be fair, and they were at home, and they're fighting relegation, so they thought maybe let's go for it. But they clearly, there was a whole interview with Daniel Fark where he was like, we tried to go long, then they stopped us. We tried to go short. Then we, what did he say? We went up the wings, then we did this, then we went centrally, then he said we just couldn't do anything. That our defense is just so organized and our pressing is so good that they were just stunted. Let's look at the lineup. So it was. I'm just trying to add zoom. Yeah, I don't know where the zoom is. Yeah. So Gyökeres scored, and he also scored against Leeds in the first game of the season. So he likes scoring against Leeds, and then Dayne scored and assisted, and Zubimendi scored. And Zubimendi has been popping up with lots of useful goals this season. And he wasn't really much of a goal-scoring midfielder in Spain. So it's really been a nice surprise to see him score the amount that he has been scoring for us. Renai, what's your thoughts on the Leeds game? Are you able to chat to us? Renai? I think he's frozen. Okay. Oh, no, there he is. Are you here, bro? Oh, no, he's frozen. Okay, let's go to Ryan. How was the Leeds game for you?
Unbelievable. Zubimendi getting on a header again from a perfect cross from Nani. I don't know how Zubimendi always gets up to these headers. It's the craziest thing. He's like 5'9" or something, and he's always up there. But you're right. I actually read yesterday that Zubimendi has now scored more goals this season for us than he has in any other campaign. So Yeah, he's not a goal scorer, and he's doing a very good job. But Noni had a great game. He put in that perfect cross for Zubamendi, and then he scored off the corner, which they gave to him eventually. It was originally an own goal.
Direct one.
Yeah, the direct corner. And then if you remember, Gyökeres's goal was that unbelievable cross from Martinelli. He like cut back onto his left, and he put in that curler, and then Gyökeres like slide kicked it in kind of that kind of goal. So it was, we scored some really good goals. It was a fun game, and I was surprised. I was a bit
the shin goal.
The shin goal, yes, that's the one. The shin goal. But to be honest, I was a bit nervous going into that game. I was a bit worried about Leeds because it was at Elland Road, and everyone kept talking about how hard it is to play there. And oh man, we did well. We dominated. Exceptional performance. A really good game for Noni. I thought. I thought it was good to see him, especially with the corners, because he struggled with them in the beginning, and now he's doing really well with his corners. Still frustrating at times, but he's having a decent season.
Yeah, he seems to be very good at dribbling, and he dribbles well at pace. I think it's like just sometimes I think he gets a bit isolated, and I don't know if like Timber always quite understands how to play with him. I don't know if there's like, they don't seem to have the same kind of cohesiveness that Saka and Timber have, and that White and Saka had. I think there's something not clicking there. But yeah, he's definitely got a lot of energy, and that's what I like about him, is he brings something different to Saka. He's more direct. His dribbling is more direct. So Saka is more like, he's got kind of two ways that he dribbles, whereas Noni does a variety of things, and he does like, he'll kick it and run, or he'll just do a small dribble, or also, I think the one thing Noni does need to work on is his shooting, because Saka's shooting is way better than Noni's. So yeah, what's your thoughts, Ash, on Noni and on the Leeds game?
Look, it was an exciting game to watch. Again, I think this is the revival period now, because we were nervous as a fan base, and this win it came at the right time. As for Noni, I watched him at Chelsea. He's improved when he's come to Arsenal, but like everyone's mentioned, and it's throughout the fan base, he's finishing, his decision making in that final third. He needs to really, I don't know how old he is now. How old is he? He's still a young player. He needs to really work on that decision making, especially his finishing, because he can be, if he can get it right, I think even our star boy will have a lot of stress in the future. If Noni can get it right, his finishing, his decision making, because that's where he lets us down. But yeah, in this game it was very exciting, and hopefully he can continue on that trajectory. Yeah.
It's weird because like the new players have basically only really one who's broken into the starting lineup, or the two, would be Gyökeres and Zubamendi. But even with Gyökeres, he's been scoring now goals off the bench, with Havertz being back and Jesus being back. So I think Gyökeres was also playing because he was pretty much the only fit striker for a while. So I would say Zubamendi has been the best signing of the season, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
He just is so calm. His pressure resistance, his as we've spoken about before, his aerial duels are unbelievable for someone as short as he is. But it's quite interesting that Eze, like now with Gyökeres, he's now making more of an impact. But if you look a few games back, there wasn't like this huge impact. It was more like the signings have just brought us depth and the ability to rotate. They haven't drastically changed the starting lineup. Even with Madueke, it's like he's put pressure on Saka, but he's not like challenging his position. Like if it was the semi-final of a Champions League tomorrow, Saka would start like tomorrow, like if they were both fit. So it's like frustrating because you almost want these new players to challenge, and Eze hasn't pushed Odegaard enough, and Saka hasn't been pushed enough by Madueke. So it's like, it's good that they're there, and the quality drop isn't as much as it has been in past seasons, but they're not like pushing for that starting position, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and sorry to just jump in there. I mean, Saka hasn't had the greatest of seasons, in my opinion. And for Madueke not to be pushing him harder is a concern. He needs to actually do some introspection on himself, because if I look at Saka, and I'm not afraid to say it, he's not at the level yet where he should be, but maybe when he returns from apparently he's injured. I don't know for how long, but once he returns, he will have to come in swinging, because we're going to need him for the running.
Yeah, and then Renai, are you back with us? Because you were frozen earlier.
Yeah, I'm back.
What would you like to chat on the Leeds game? Your guy Gyökeres likes to score against Leeds. What's your thoughts on him doing well off the bench? It seems in the EPL.
I think there's something that I don't know if it was on the last pod or on the WhatsApp group. He tend to do well when Saka is not playing for some reason. And I think the issue with Saka is, for the longest of time, we've always relied on him cutting in and also taking shots from the side or passing back, as opposed to creating those chances wherein he is looking into the pocket and releasing the ball. So in a way, it sort of frustrates Gyökeres, and obviously there are instances where you would expect him to make a run, he's not making a run, because he'll be making runs and the ball is not coming through. So I think for some reason he would actually do so much well with Havertz playing, and I think the only, or rather the best possible way in which we can unleash the beast in him is allowing Havertz to play a bit more, because he has been finding him. He has been releasing those through balls that allows him to be able to get chances that he wasn't getting. It was a bit unfair on him to say that he's not taking shots, but he was not even getting the ball to begin with to even take those shots that we expect him to. So yeah, but other than that, I think he's speaking in the right time, where we definitely need goals from wherever we can get them. So having our striker scoring goals is the most noble thing one can have, especially given the run of fixtures that we'll be facing in the coming month. So other than that, I was happy with the overall performance and the amount of goals that we go to score. Also, it also gives us a very good, healthy goal difference as well.
Yeah, so thanks for sharing about that, and let's go to the Chelsea game now. So obviously you scored in the last minute, and it was a Havertz breakaway goal. Rice set him up with a nice assist across field. Rice has just been phenomenal this season. I'm floored at how he just runs every game, and he's everywhere in every game. He's just, I don't know about you guys, but he's the player of the season for me again so far. But it's tight between him and Big Gabby, and Timber's also had a good season. Who do you guys think would be the kind of the top three?
Trossard as well has been quite good.
Yeah, Trossard has been good. Yeah, Ryan, so you want to give your top three and then just comment a bit about Rice's assist and Havertz's goal. He loves to dunk on Chelsea.
Yeah, Rice has been my player of the season for sure. Ahead of Gabby, just because he had that little brief injury. So Rice has just played every game and he's been consistent. So I think I agree. I can't get over how he does it. He doesn't. He like gallops. He just doesn't stop for 90 minutes. It's incredible what he does, and he fights for every tackle and he makes every pass. He's been sublime. I would say after him probably Gabby or Timber, and then Trossard. I think Trossard's been really good this season. I feel for him because he'll have like 3 good games and then Arteta just benches him because he wants to change it up. So it's quite difficult for him, but we do have a lot of competition in the team now. So I guess that's a positive. I think Raya has saved us a couple times, but I'd say probably Rice, Gabby, and either Timber or Trossard. That game, I can't stand playing Chelsea because I don't like their football. I don't know if it's something Maresca drilled in them before he left, but they played this weird, aggressive, chaotic football where there's no game plan other than to hurt people. And I love to beat them, and I love the way we beat them, and I love that the commentators were having a field day about how well Chelsea were doing, and we're through. And that's it. Yeah.
They were like praising them that they were not doing anything to attack us, and that they're like, I mean, they even said something like they're walking us onto the edge of a cliff, and it was just weird.
It was nonsense. It was just ridiculous.
It's nonsense.
Pure garbage.
And they played like 5 at the back when they needed to win by 2 goals. It was just a really weird.
Fools.
Yeah.
Yeah, the media, eh? The media, and I think someone said it in the group chats, is you can just see the biasness. I mean, we're going to the final against City. City's not in the greatest of forms. But they already, if Arsenal lose that final, then they'll probably lose the league as well. And all this BS. They have an agenda against us. As much as people can say, some people say we get the favoritism from the refs and this, that, but you've seen it, and it's been decades now. It never changes. But it's fine. That's the underdog story, right? We all join, I support the club because it's the underdog club. From the 90s, we were not the top dog, but it's something, I guess. And yeah.
I think that's true. I mean, I supported Arsenal when I watched Dennis Bergkamp at the 98 World Cup, and I just asked, who does he play for? And they said Arsenal. I'm like, I'd never heard of Arsenal. I'd only ever heard of Man United and Liverpool. And I was like, I want to be different. So then I just started supporting Arsenal. And it's been fun to actually learn more about how an underdog we are, and like that we were the first team from the south of the country to win the league. Like all the teams that had won before were from the north mainly, and then from the Midlands. So we were the first London team to win the league. So it's even like there's like a north-south bias in England. I mean, Tom, I don't know if you know about all of that stuff from your Scottish, because I don't know how it filters through to Scotland, because that's very north, but then it's the Scottish-English rivalry. Do you know about the north-south stuff?
I only picked up on it when I started watching Premier League, when I started supporting Arsenal. I mean, to be fair, I started watching games before that, and I was watching actually a bit more of United than anyone. I didn't support them, but David Beckham's dead balls always astonished me, so I was kind of like going, how the hell does he do that? Always interested me, but chose the right team in the end. But no, I only picked up on the north-south divide when I moved down south into London as well. So that's when it gets absolutely smashed into your face about the north-south divide. You're like, they were all English. They were all English. It doesn't matter where they're from. They're all English. Doesn't matter. And then you go down and you go, oh yeah. So the Southerners hate the Northerners too, right? The Northerners hate the Southerners, right? Just coming back a wee bit on the media bias. I've got to say that, yes, they're very against us. At the same time, a lot of it is very reminiscent of when Liverpool had little brief spells of potentially challenging. You know what I mean? And the amount of media bias that was getting shoved onto Liverpool and the pressure that Liverpool were facing before Klopp won it. So all the little times, like I think Brendan Rodgers got second or something. Was it Rodgers or something? They got second at one point. And when Rafa Benitez, they did the Champions League, and they were expected to do much better in the Premier League because their Champions League run had been so good and blah blah. The amount of pressure that they suffered at that point was also intense. So I kind of see it that rubbish against Arsenal, but at the same time, it seems to be if a newbie, there's a lot more history going on, but if a newbie dares step into that territory after being out of it for so long, the intensity of the media of going, come on, break, we're going to break you. The media seem to want to break the team challenging, and they want to actually be the people that mess with it, and so I'm sitting there kind of going, but Gary Neville's always a bit of a rat. So, but also just quickly, when it comes to players of the season as well, I feel Zubi's getting overlooked so much. I absolutely love this guy. I absolutely love Zubimendi. And I think with Rice and Zubimendi, we have literally probably the best midfield pairing potentially in world football right now. I think they balance each other stupidly well. And the fact that you're seeing it now with Zubi, he's getting up there, he's going in for and getting goals. And you're sitting there going, if those two can tag team, one goes up, the other drops, the other goes up, the other drops. You keep doing that, you've got a stupidly good deep midfield pair. Like double pivot the hell out of it and allow both of them to have that freedom to go up and have a dig. It's like excellent. I love it.
Yeah, and I think Zubimendi is never.
Yeah, good shout, Zubimendi.
Yeah, I think Zubimendi maybe hasn't felt that he has that cover that Rice gives from his other midfield partners, and I think maybe that's why he is so much more free and able to, make even that one last goal, that one goal where he made a darting run into the box and just slipped it past the keeper. I was like, what is this guy doing? Where did he come from? But I would also agree that I would say my top three would be Rice, Big Gabby, and Zubimendi. You're actually probably right. I think I like Trossard, but he's fallen off a bit in the last maybe 5 to 8 games. Even though what I really like about him is that he's so good at dribbling from a standing start. Martinelli needs to be at full gas to get past players. He'll just use his pace and he nips it past someone. But with Trossard, he just dribbles from a standing start, and he destroys people left, right, and center. His dribbling is so good. What are your top 3 players, Ash?
For this season, I'm going with Big Gabby. Yes, he's a few games now where he's not been at the level, but I think he's the best centre-back in the world currently, in my mind. I feel so comfortable when he's in the team, when he's in the squad. Yes, we've been conceding a few goals since November. Or was it December? I think November, where we didn't concede anything. But he's in that back line. He's my guy. Rice is the engine. He's been brilliant. The best, 105 you can never spend, right? Best 105 million you can ever spend. And he's been consistent this season. And then Zubi. Guys, I can't argue it enough. He's really been a great signing. The only signing I think in England that might compete there as being, an impactful signing. Could be Ekitike in my mind. I enjoy watching the boy. Without a doubt, I think he's a really good striker. But for us, Zubi, nobody else. There's nobody else. Nkapia is there. He's good in the defense, when he is brought in. But I think we'll only see the best from them in the next season or so, when they will probably participate more in the team
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, like Calafori had a kind of average first season and he had a lot of injuries, but then he's done much better this season, and then now he's had injuries again. So it seems like, yeah, some of the players take a season to warm up to the Premier League, and then you get Zubimendi, who just like has been on fire since he got here. I mean, he's had definite big mistakes. I mean, he's let in, I think, 2 or 3 goals from errors when he got caught in possession. But it's so good that even those errors aren't like as big of a deal as like you would say for other players. Even with Big Gabby's 2 errors that he made for goals, we are like so overawed by how they play in other games that those errors like don't make or don't break them essentially. Yeah. So, but let's talk more about the Chelsea game. So, tactically, I know, Ryan, you were annoyed, and then like, let's go talk about Havertz again. I mean, his goal was just so well done. I mean, he's scored a few of those breakaway goals against Chelsea. He really loves a breakaway goal against his old club, and he likes to celebrate again.
Celebrate. Mm-hmm. I think the celebrations, because people are like, yeah, you're not supposed to celebrate. If you can recall when he exited, I mean, we weren't happy signing this young man, guy. But the way they behaved, I mean, love the song. I mean, the him being back in this team and just seeing him even against Chelsea, where he always scores. But I mean, it's really good to see, and I don't think for a minute that Chelsea fans really respected this guy. This is a guy that won you the Champions League. I think it was 2019. He scored the winner, and when you threw him away like a piece of shit, and for him to celebrate, he's happy in this club, and I'm happy to keep him at this club for the next couple of years.
For sure.
Yeah. This is yesterday's game. Yeah. I think you're
Okay, so I was really quite drunk yesterday, so I don't remember much of the
game. Zubimendi's goal was ridiculous. It was incredible. The more we're talking about Zubimendi, the more excited I am that he's an Arsenal player. And before we signed him, it was in The Athletic. They were talking about how he's the player that no one will see, but he'll have the biggest impact on a game. And it's so true. He's always involved in some way, and his positional play is incredible. So I'm really chuffed to have someone like that in the team. And Gyökeres scored again twice. So it's starting to come together in that respect. This was another game that I thought was going to be difficult. So 3-0 win is pretty outstanding. I think you're muted there.
All the goals were really, really beautiful goals. I do remember those bits. Stunning. And that last that Marty run and the pass to Gyökeres, perfectly timed. Just watching Marty, I think I said it on the group. I was just like, so it reminded me so much of when he did it to Kante and like just dipped his shoulder and sent Kante flying and then just carried on and finished. And he's just holding that defender off his back. And then Gyökeres just joining him on the side. And you're like, stay on side, stay on side, stay on side. I thought Marty might actually go for it. And I was going, and then he just, I was like, oh, yes. yes, yes, yes. Water, run and finish. And Rice almost had a banger, inches away.
Oh, that would have been unbelievable. Yeah, that was a very good shot. Very good shot. We actually had a few. I think we could have scored another 2 goals, I think, quite easily. It was a good game. It was good. And also we drew the first game against them, so it was we needed this. Yeah, top win. What I really liked actually was Raya was really good at his service early on in the game. He kept throwing it out, and we were getting these counters going, which was quite cool to watch.
Dayne, are you speaking?
I don't think
his
he is.
mic. His mic. I saw his lips moving. Looks like his mic is an issue.
Yeah, I think there's an issue with your mic there, Dan. Gents, I'm gonna have to jump off. Enjoy the rest of it. It's been lovely, and we'll chat soon.
All right, Ryan. Thank
Cheers,
you.
Ryan.
Cheers, guys. Cheers.
Nice one. Dayne's still struggling.
Yeah.
What did you make of that game, Ash?
I think I was in the same boat as you yesterday, Tom. I was watching the game, phone on one side and having fun with friends, just celebrating every time we scored. But I think, again, we opened that gap to 9 points, obviously hoping that tonight City would fumble and then we can have more breathing space. But nonetheless, it takes a lot. I'm glad we take our opportunities. We took our opportunity to extend the lead on the table and to put pressure on our biggest rival at this stage in the Premier League.
Yeah.
The performance, I mean, Zubi's goal was brilliant. I guess also to when you hit the pole, or what do they call it, the upright, I don't know, and then going in from that distance, it was exciting to watch. I think Gyökeres again putting in a good performance as a striker, and look at the table. How far are we from winning the title? When can I start celebrating properly? We had game
Hold
25.
Hold.
13 more finals. 13 more finals. With space for 2 losses, but no, we're not losing anything. City needs to lose.
No, we're not talking. No. Don't entertain that.
Yeah. Dayne, are you
Clean
back?
sheets and 3 points to the end.
Yeah.
Are you able to speak, Dayne?
I don't know.
Oh, I think he's still struggling. Yeah, just that Gyökeres goal, his first one as well, like being able to strike that ball and while he's falling over, it's like, yeah, that'll do. Still got a hell of a lot of power from that shot.
That's what you want from a gentleman that doesn't have a great first touch. Just put it in. When you get the opportunity, just put it in. Yeah, no.
No, 100%. And I think there's going back. Are you, Dayne? Gosh, I think he's really struggling. Just going back to what you were saying with Madueke, Noni being backup to Saka, I was actually thinking that Madueke is a really good backup to Saka. Now, I totally get what you were saying about Saka being a bit rubbish this season. Yeah. There's an element that's sort of missing from him. The spark is gone, and you're like, hopefully, it's just one of those seasons. every player has them. You know, I mean, well, not every player, but most players
Not
have
Rice.
them where they just yeah. But as a backup to Saka, and you know, he welcomed the chance to basically come and be backup to Saka. Yeah, you'll get played on the left, but you know, you're a right winger, and that's your preferred position. And considering everything, I'm like, yeah, he needs to be better in places, but I think he's actually. I'm quite happy to have him around as that backup, and you need to see more from him, and hopefully he can begin to really challenge or push Saka. But I'm like, for now, currently, I think you can't get much of a better, you know, unless you're going. Then you start having conversations about, oh, how much are you paying him? How much are we paying him? Yeah. And people just start getting annoyed, going, I deserve the first team spot. And you're like, yeah. At least with Noni now, you can say he doesn't deserve it, but when he's getting it, he looks like he's enjoying himself.
Yeah, 100%. Now, that drop is not there when Saka is not available. The drop that we used to have, I think, where you'd have to have like a Nelson or you know, someone that's more preferred on the left wing, but he's now playing on the right. And I think also we're not running Saka into the ground as much. I think it's very important when we want to win this title. We're going to win this title, but you need to ensure that you have that depth. And I think Arsenal has done brilliantly. I've never seen, and none of us has ever seen, probably an Arsenal team with this much depth, this much capacity. I think with all the injuries we've had this season, had it been a smaller squad, we wouldn't be in this title race, and we wouldn't be the favourites to win it. I hate to say favourites because I've watched Arsenal bottle it. I've watched Arsenal bottle it. Sorry, I'm just reading what Dayne is saying in the chat as well.
Yeah.
But, I've watched them bottle it. I think was it 2006 or 2000? No, not 2006, but probably like 2008 with the Exodus team. So I've also had this tendency not to get overconfident, and hopefully, let's see what Dayne is sharing here. Maybe you can run us
the next
through
three fixtures. He said, mention the next three fixtures. So what have we got?
Yeah.
Brentford, Wigan,
Brentford away.
Wolves.
Well,
Okay, and FA Cup. Right, aye. To be fair, I'm like, bring on Brentford. I'm like, bring it on. Obviously, they could be. I never count my chickens. But we need to push. We can take Brentford. I'm like, come on. And Wolves, in theory, should not be a problem. Like, come on, surely don't let Wolves in.
These should be guaranteed wins. I mean, Brentford can be what do they call it? A banana peel. You can slip up against Brentford. When is that? Thursday. A late night game. It can be a banana peel, but we should be getting the informed team. I don't know what their form looks like, but we should be getting our 3 points from Wolves and Brentford. As for Wigan, it's FA Cup. We should be playing our young boys there. Not that we underestimate them, but we should be playing more referee players, not the starters.
I mean, the rotation has been much better.
Dayne is saying Brentford is in form. Yeah, Dayne is saying Brentford is in form at this moment.
Are they? Okay.
Yeah, a banana peel. Potential banana peel.
I didn't realize that they'd been. What's Brentford's thing?
7.
Okay.
Win, they're chasing a European spot. Okay.
So, don't count the chickens.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay.
Well, fingers crossed.
Guys.
Thursday night.
Yeah.
Try not fall asleep, Ash.
No, I'm not falling asleep. I'll get my nap in before the 10 o'clock game. Getting old, eh? You know, back in the day we used to watch these games till midnight and not struggle. But these days, geez. Hopefully we can celebrate our first, since we opened up that group, the Facebook group all those years ago. It's gonna be the first time we win the Premier League. So I wonder.
Yeah.
All right.
Cheers, man. I think we
Thanks,
can wrap
guys.
this. So
Yeah. Thanks,
thank
Dayne.
you. Much
Thanks, Tom.
appreciated.
Have a good evening. Thanks to everybody. Have a good evening.
Get the
Cheers,
mic
guys.
working, man. Take care.
Cheers.